Well, I mean, so in the map last night, so far, I'll say actually, in this tournament, we've had an 100% line ban rate and an 100% clash ban rate, which isn't too far away from what's expected. So the first one to be removed by FaZe is, of course, the one and only Lion. This frees up Liquid, I guess, to kind of think about what they don't want FaZe to bring. Obviously, they probably want to potentially remove Glaz from this. There's a lot that FaZe can just dominate with.
I would definitely say that Glaz should be the ban here because FaZe have been dominating with Glaz so far, but it's actually going to be the Thinker. And so the last time I casted OGA here, Liquid went against Pain Gaming on Oregon. I was super confused as to why there was a Thinker ban, but that is definitely a target ban against Yuna, who's great on the LMG Thinker. And yeah, of course, the mirror ban is going to come through from Liquid. That's fairly standard. I would expect to see the Clash ban from FaZe here, potentially.
Well, yeah, because we've seen that obviously if there is a shield operator, a player like Sexy Cake can do very, very well with a shield. So it'd be, there it goes, gets taken straight out of the mix there. Team Liquid is a team that they know how to use shields. They know how to use that in their movement, and it works very well. So that's kind of for, as you said, expected ones. Finker was the biggest point ban there, but the others are generally par for the course. As we go to Dorm's main hall, which is the usual go-to as the first point when Mira is removed. So, as I said, it will be exciting to see how these guys adapt. Obviously, we've seen this map already twice in the OGA, and we've seen a mix of roam clears. We've seen people going straight to the point, and LATAM is a region where you can never really predict how they're going to want to jump in. If there's unexpected, it's normally got LATAM written all over it.
Something I would like to point out here is FaZe are definitely going to LAN.
Yep.
So this puts them in a very safe position to run, well, maybe not run strats, but take a
step back, a breather.
Bit of a breather. But Liquid have a lot to play for in Pro League, so potentially not going to be trying to give away anything here at this point because they do still stand a very, very slight chance of making it to LAN. So they could do it. We'll see how it does go down as we do move into round number 1 here in Oregon. Because of the mirror ban, we will see an upstairs defense coming out first. Now, this defense is always fairly interesting to see how aggressively people do play it, and FaZe have typically been a team that recognize that Oregon is mostly about the roam game. They play very heavily on the roam. They go constantly for runouts. We've seen Astro in the past playing on Valkyrie here. It's going to be Mav this time. He plays on the Valkyrie. We're going to see maybe more aggression coming out from them, but I would definitely expect to see Mav or someone else playing downstairs and getting rid of to open up a bit of vertical play and keep the attackers interested in what's going on downstairs. Meanwhile, I'm expecting Liquid to potentially push through sort of a big tower side and trying to go for that sort of highway window take, because that's really why they're from Cap Tower, right?
Well, you can already see, obviously, Astro's going over there with the Jaegers. They're going to try and just hold those top tower windows. And top tower, just the ability to peek across dorms is so important to just, especially with, as you said, we know that these guys love to play wide and they love to explore a map and the ins and outs. They're always moving, but the first frag comes in. Moringa taking Nesk, and
oh, Moringa with a double kill. What? How does that just happen? He takes bullet off the board, but instantly get downed through the wall. The fragmite of Zig does take him down, but not out just yet. And that's a beautiful double kill from Moringa already coming out of it. He does get traded instantly by Sexy Cake though, but Mav is ready to trade him right on back. But this is some early aggression coming out from Liquid, but that's already 2 of the main entry fraggers off the board. However, Thermite will manage to get open the gen wall very, very early on. That's 1 minute down. There's already 3 operators off the board. 3 incredibly high impact operators as well.
I know, you can say a lot about players in Siege, but Nesk is frequently on the top of people's lists as one of the best players. So him being the first pick, if that's how FaZe want to set the tone for the rest of this game, it's a heck of a tone to set. You can see the game has slowed down a little bit. Sexy Cake is trying to push up that armory corridor, going to just keep the cover for PSK, who's looking for a potential chance to go for some utility push, get some more ground. Otherwise, they're struggling to kind of just get maybe one more pick they want to hit before they start turning into the Dorm's corner from the walk-in. It'll be interesting. It's Maestro there, just kind of countering a lot as an explosion goes off.
Yeah, Mav did try and throw Nitro from below, but it will miss its mark. Tower Bolts will go down. All this utility going out of it. But we can see trying to get the plant down. 6 Gig is first kill of that push. But Cameraman and Mav will start to clean it up and leave it on to PSK. But Mav with a double kill headshot takes out 6 Gig, takes out PSK 1. And it's going to be all into FaZe Clan's favor. What a shot from Mav at the end here. Beautifully played there from FaZe to counter such an early rush coming out from Liquid.
Yeah, well, we said these guys like to play fast. The frag game of LATAM is often cited as being one of the best, if not the best, and it just shows the speed at which these kind of interactions between the two teams hit, and when the executes actually roll out, it's always it's exciting, it's electric, and that's everything that we saw there. We're going to go down to laundry and supply as the next defense, and obviously we'll see how they try and translate, whether it's going to change up the speed at Liquid hitting the building, whether they're going to try and, I don't know, maybe not get caught out by a shotgun double kill as their first entrance. Pulse is being the 6th pick there from Mav, though.
And we will see the 6th pick coming out from Sexy Cake is, of course, going to be the Thatcher, which is pretty essential for this downstairs attack now, simply because the Hibana cannot get up in that hatch if it is mute jammed, because, of course, you now need 4 Hibana pellets to open up a hatch that is reinforced. So I'm expecting Cameraman to just do that, where he puts the mute jammer down onto the top of that table, which he has done, and for Classroom Wall to get opened up just to stop any hard breaching going down there at all. In fact, actually no, Classroom Wall is not going to get opened up just yet, but Moringa will start to do construction work of his own into the meeting hall area. We'll see how this goes down, and this is fairly default defense coming up from FaZe so far. One big problem that went really badly for Liquid last round was that they moved quickly, yes, and honestly, it could have worked out for them, but losing Nesk and Bullet that early on does not just remove your 2 entries, but it also removes any possibility of getting rid of those Maestro camps.
That's the thing, it's such a big take, and again, that's what they do so well, is they just get those picks, they get those counter picks within the opening minute of the round, which it's always... It's enthralling to see how quickly these guys can move around the map. You can already hear, obviously, shots flying over as Yuna starts to clear the rotation over to Attic. They're still working on their maneuverability around this map. And obviously, Maestro, again, he is pretty important on a map like this, especially when Mira is gone, just for keeping not only visual control, but also smoke pushes, countering utility pushes that they love to do. As we can see, Mav just there trying to feed information to the rest of FaZe and picking out for that initial push.
Well, I mean, we've already seen Capitao come out, and it looks like this is going to be a fairly standard lineup coming out from Liquid during their attacks, putting Capitao twice in a row. I think Capitao, probably one of the most underrated operators utility-wise. He brings a lot to the table in terms of that, and we see EMP is already going to go down, so I'm expecting the hatch to get taken here by Liquid, which they will start to do so now. And then just Capital Bolt's utility for days going down into the meeting hall area and onto laundry, and they're just trying to go for that plant early on. But a big part about this is not going to be just maintaining control over meeting hall and flag, but also trying to get this plant down while taking those Maestro cams off the board, which is going to be a big ask for Liquid here.
Taking a little bit of damage, Nesk pulling a little bit further back. Those huge sightlines Maestro has all the way across as he starts pinging bullets. Yuna trying to pick off one of those lucky frags. Obviously still has the Jaeger and the Mute backing up, holding, meeting, and just really stopping them. Whether Liquid should start looking at potentially rotating, potentially finding, I don't know, maybe a slightly wider berth, going upstairs and seeing if they can clear any of the talent. But instead, they're just going to try and hold, try and pick potential frags, which, to be fair, there's a team and a couple of players that can do it. Mav, though, shutting down Sig, stopping some of that as they start to get more aggressive with their hold on meeting.
Yeah, they are starting to get a bit more aggressive with it. Bullet, and he's going to take some damage. The Sexy Kid going to move into flag using that AR-33. He's looking for that close quarters gunfight. We see most members of Liquid are fairly lit up here. PSK and Nesk on a bare minimum HP. Sexy Kid moves up, puts a Claymore down, but PSK goes down. Moringa with the double kill again! Beautifully played. Sexy Kid's Claymore just fine cameraman, but Astro juices it out. Sexy Kid gets the double kill into Bullet, and that's FaZe Clan who take round number 2 again. Just beautifully fragging out, and no diffuser plant coming out from Liquid, despite their utility usage coming out quite well there. They just cannot win these gunfights against FaZe.
No, and it was beautiful. FaZe almost baited them into pushing against meeting. At first, it was all kind of like a spaghetti western. No one was really going, but you could see that FaZe started to step a bit closer, and it almost drew Liquid towards them, showing a little bit of elbow, a little bit of arm, and obviously they did get a little bit too aggressive, fall down to a Claymore, which is never great, but still, they baited them into firefights and then just took their players down. As we go to rear stage and Watchtower, obviously that is 2 straight point wins. It's the fabled 3rd point on Oregon. We'll see I don't know whether there's something Liquid can do a little bit differently. They were a lot slower in terms of obviously getting into those initial firefights, and they held it a bit wider that time. But it'll be interesting to see how they try and develop as they push against what is arguably a harder point to defend.
Yeah, a little bit harder. I think from FaZe is going to rely on being a little bit more aggressive than they have been doing. So, I mean, they've been aggressive in the fact that they've kept control over a lot of the map for a decent amount, but they're only acting against Liquid's aggression. They haven't really been getting aggressive themselves. They haven't really been peeking. They've been winning the fights, but they're the ones who are getting peeked into. And I know maybe it's not a huge kind of factor here, but Brazilian servers tend to be pretty low latency. And I think if you look at the scoreboard, you will see my point here, where all the pings are below 20 ms. So that kind of ping advantage doesn't really exist at this level.
It's pretty much land. It's pretty much land. As you can see, Cameron start taking care of drones, getting the holds. There's a lot going down, obviously, on that dorm side, on the wall of meeting, on the upstairs as well. It'll be interesting to see, obviously, where Maestro decides to deploy. As we said, he is very, very good. Very, very vital in a lot of team setup, and FaZe utilize him exceptionally well. I mean, well, they utilize a lot exceptionally well. They are, as we've seen, dominant in Pro League. Astro setting up still, suffering some bullets immediately from construction. Looking again for the firefight. Wants to bait it in with that ACOG MP5, which, to be fair, if there's a gun that you want to hold to go for those picks, there it is. Some bullets flying straight down into Nesk, who is exceptionally low. Doesn't land any against Astro, and Astro is still looking to pick off the rest of that fight, and Nesk is not having any of it. Luckily, if there's a time you want to take a lot of damage, it's at the beginning where you can get a reset in, but still.
Yeah, beautiful shots coming out from Astro. The two main fraggers from each team really trying to duel it out there. Nesk looking ready to try and re-peak this, as Astro still just holding it down. Nesk just holding down his angle as we move 1 minute into the round. Not as aggressive as we were before, but Liquid definitely moving very, very quickly. Astro still trying to find these fights and still trying to peek basically anything that he can here. Just trying to peek onto the roof here to see if he can find a little bit of an angle, to see if he can pick, I believe that's Zig on the Twitch on the roof there. To see if he can find a quick kill here. Nesk with some Ash Breach charges will start to go out and see what he can do, and it's all the Capital balls start to go down, the execute starts to come through. PSK taking so much damage from the smoke. Is this gonna stick the plant? He does get it down for the very first time. The Liquid will plant the diffuser, but they will lose so many fights here. But Hoist is gonna be Moringa, who just sticks to the defuse. Bully gets the double kill. Uno and Cameraman are out of it, but Moringa just sticks it, and he gets it. Beautifully done from FaZe Clan as they take round number 3. And just again, so many of these early fights, Liquid are losing and they're overcommitting, but they did manage to plant the diffuser down that time. Just trying to defend that diffuser in such an awkward position when you don't have a shield is something that is really going wrong for Liquid, and only 2 members of that team have any frags on the table.
That's the thing, they got the diffuser down, but with no one else to cover it, is there much purpose? Is there much point? They really could have just held out a little bit long. They had plenty of time, plenty of utility, and plenty of potential for movement and rotation, but instead they threw everything at it, wanted to take it to surprise, and yeah, you got the diffuser down, but when it's that easy to just pick it back up again, you know, what's the point? It becomes a little bit of a throwaway. We go back to Dorm's main hall, and so far, Liquid needs to start coming up with some fresh ideas, because FaZe, they're kind of cruising.
And a fresh idea will start to come in. Nesk going to be taking the Ying, so a little bit of a difference in the lineup than what we've seen traditionally coming out from Liquid here. 6K will move on to the Decabi. So some bit of a differences in lineup coming out from them, but from FaZe, pretty much the same from what we've seen so far. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that Astro hasn't decided to go Doc again here. Just because I thought he did a really good job in Big Tower there. I think maybe you can play a little bit more aggressively, playing into a Liquid that might be getting a little bit too aggressive now. Just change up your strategy just a bit. Try and play a little bit more aggressive onto the site, or aggressive into the Big Tower, and ACOG is definitely going to allow you to keep those long angles, just contest on an equal footing with the attackers, and maybe just changing something like that would help Liquid a lot.
Well, definitely, and obviously we're seeing these kind of mistakes that Liquid shouldn't really be making, and they're making decisions that you're kind of questioning. As we said, yeah, Nesk is one of the best players in the world, but when you go down to 20 health against the high ground ACOG, it's a hard job to re-peek that and get a kill for anyone. Yeah, it's slightly easier because he is, as we said, one of the best fraggers in the world, but why take the fight? Why throw away an advantage. Why risk something when you've already been dropped a couple times? You're an integral part of this team. Never forget that, always. So we can see the push is starting to come across. Cameraman's going to pull a little bit further back. Just not going to get caught out directly from windows. It's being droned under a little bit of pressure, and you can already see them stacking up under the big window upstairs. Mav is there ready for the rotation just in case.
Yeah, Cameraman is going to be playing Zulu downstairs, just trying to make sure that this vertical plate cannot get opened up. But we can see Liquid absolutely stacked up outside. Are going to try and put out as much utility as they can. They've got to be aware the vertical plate is open, but they're not even going to realize. Next just jumps in, he goes down immediately. Cameraman takes the Ying off the board early as that, but Zig has managed to find his way into the objective unit, takes down PSK. And just FaZe are finding so many gunfights here. Cameraman moves in, Moringa gets a kill as well. But Zig, left alone on the site with Diffuser, is in a 1v3 as the Thermite. Now Zig is going to try and have to find 3 kills here, but won't even find one. Astro on the Jaeger does peek it out, takes him down. FaZe Clan take round number 4 looking flawless on this defense so far. And it was a good idea from Liquid, but absolutely no vertical control from them. Didn't even realize. I don't know if they realized or not, or they just decided to jump in and risk it. But beautiful plays coming out there.
So I think we saw them droning out FaZe Clan. We saw the drones moving, and yeah, he picked it off, but he didn't. There's a 10-second period between when he picked off that drone and then they just trusted it. They just went in. They tried to, again, take them by surprise, push hard and push fast. And all it could have taken to get him at least off that is just to have, because there was someone perched there waiting at the window ready. There was someone that was ready to fire on through, and they just didn't. It's great ideas, not fully formed and making mistakes that really these guys shouldn't be. But
I'm really surprised we're not seeing a more concentration on the roam clear here from Liquid. Normally, Oregon, as I say every time, it is so much about the roam clear. And it's so much about the roam game. And FaZe have had complete domination on the roam. Mav is going to 6-pick onto the Frost, surprisingly, as Sexy will move from the Book onto the Blackbeard. So kind of interesting moving out from them. I would like to point out as well that one of the guys in our studio said that this is going to be a 6-0 to FaZe, and I'm kind of inclined to agree with them right now, because this is looking so dominant from FaZe. It's not just that this version of Oregon with the alt bans is defender-sided, it's just that FaZe have been playing so dominantly. Liquid have been playing way too risk-heavy, have been going in. They've only managed to get the plant down once and just instantly diffused out by FaZe. And it's just been going terribly for them. On top of that, Liquid, as a team, tend to rely quite heavily on how Nesk performs. And when he has a good game, he has a really good game.
Yeah.
And he is actually the top fragger in Pro League right now in Latin America.
He's one of those players that frequently makes every Siege fantasy football player's dream team. But obviously, again, we were talking about, oh, there on the other side, Cameraman going down. We're talking about FaZe making these decisions. They are already pushing hard on the point. Zig pushing straight through the smoke. Moringa drops Zig. PSK, if I'm correct, Moringa getting the return frag, and Liquid are wasting no time. Sexy Cake as well. Picks off Yuna. Astro gets Nest, and Bullet and Astro trade Mav. Mav again with the double Bullet and PSK. That was all within the opening 30 seconds, leaving just Mav against Sexy Cake.
He's still got to welcome mat as well. That's how quick that push just came in from Liquid. And Mav will put that welcome mat down just at the end there. Sexy Cake left alone in this 1v1. It's not looking good for Mav. But if he can drag Sexy Cake into a very close encounter, but he can't. He's not even going to be looking. Come on, what are you doing?
Wow.
Mav with zero awareness there is not going to hear him at all. Sexy Cake just shooting him straight through the wall. And beautiful bit of drone work coming out from Liquid there, but Mav just... Oh, that was terrible. I mean, if you don't have a mirror, both of those walls should be reinforced.
It was... I mean, I was going to make another point, but by the time I started to come to thought together, most of the players had already dropped. That was... If there was a round to sum up how Ladam liked to do it, there it was. Unbelievable, but to be fair, I guess that's what Liquid needed. They just went straight for it. They trusted that FaZe might be a little bit on their laurels, and they pushed hard, and they didn't stop pushing. Now, rear stage and watchtower they're taking as their first defense.
So, a couple of nights ago, and of course, I hope you remember this, after the cast, we went out for donuts. And I think Ness can get on that level quite a bit now, because he is still 0 and 5, unfortunately.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop poking the best fragger in,
Yeah.
in Siege.
Well, I mean, dude, that's just my point. That it's very surprising to see a player like Nesk in what is kind of a less strategic playstyle, because this is definitely less strategic. But he's seeing such heavy early rushes coming out is not something you would ever see in really sort of tier 1 comp play. But we are seeing it right now, and it kind of suggests these teams are not taking it as seriously as they might take other competitions. But there's nothing wrong with that, and we do like to see a little bit of a difference in playstyle coming out there. But that 6-0 prediction will not come through and bear any fruit, as Liquid will actually take Big Tower first and just take 3 ACOGs, and I really think this is just going to be the whole peak everything strategy. They put their 2 strongest fraggers on ACOGs, as well as Sexy Cake, who's definitely one of the stronger fraggers on Liquid. And yeah, I think this is just going to be Valcams, Yokai Jones going around and very aggressively playstyle coming out from Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid, they just seem to be getting more and more aggressive. Obviously, we've said Ladam plays with their heart. And their heart is one where they want to pick at those firefights, and it's such a frag-heavy region. Obviously, rarely the diffuser is what makes the team. It's more, it's aggression through and through. You can see Nesk opening, ready for those holes, just wanting them to start pushing against Tower Zig on the opposite side. So many ACOGs, you're seeing so many ACOGs, but obviously FaZe, they're a strong team. They're one of those teams that you know can dominate, and you can see the drones coming out, the communication from those guys. They work as a unit. It'll be exciting to see how they start going up in these.
I also want to point out again from Liquid, they didn't ban the Glaz, but they didn't pick it themselves. And Yuna is just a Glaz main through and through. He does so well on Glaz, and Liquid have constant issues trying to deal with him on that role. We've seen it in the past before, and yeah, like Yuna does so well on Glaz. So I'm really surprised again that Liquid not only don't ban out the Glaz, but you know, they let him have it and they don't pick it themselves.
And you can see Yuna is waiting and baiting for those long sightlands once, and kind of probably knowingly predicts that Liquid are going to try and start picking firefights from range soon as the destruction starts to pick apart. Now, these are guys that are more than happy to roam and push aggressively and find firefights that many others would call crazy. Hey, that's just what plays into their playstyle now as they start to come in. A minute and a half still on the clock. There is plenty of time for these guys to try and pick off roams. And you can see they've moved and droned out all of the dorm side as the first firefight comes down. Sexy Cake just picking off a Mav in the open.
And Mav's just going to run right across Sexy Cake, easily finding him, just peeking so aggressively as the Echo. But Haban charges are going to start coming down on Meeting All, just trying to eliminate that entry at all. Astro's managed to find his way downstairs. Just trying to burst in through Boiler Room and into Harry Potter there. As Liquid still being fairly aggressive with it, though. We're still seeing Ness just trying to quick peek out onto Atis to see what he can do here. He has found a fight there, but not quite a kill. As Moringa still aware that Ness is on the other side of that, but doesn't feel too confident about taking that fight. Drones have come out. It looks like smokes are going to come out as Cameraman starts to move in through Flag. He's so quickly in there, but Sexy Cake sees right through it. He is going to hit him with the Yokai. As... what? Yuna just takes down PSK. Why would you rotate the attic ladder like that? Moringa takes down Sexy Cake, and Cameraman finds the refrag onto Zig as Astro goes down. And now it's a 2v3, all into Bullet and Nesk right now, still holding down to Big Tower. 15 seconds left to go. There's not a lot of time on the board, but there's so much intel for Liquid right now to try and find these gunfights. But the plan, despite all that, it's not going to start going down. Ness just jumps out, but Yuna takes it down. It's going to be a 1v3 all to Bullet to try and deny the plan. He has a Nitro, and he does deny the plan. Beautiful from Liquid. They take round number 6 with huge amounts of intel, huge amounts of peeking, and just, yeah, both of those players getting down right at the end there, and FaZe Clan unable to bring in that last second victory. Liquid will win their first defense on Big Tower. That
was some balls to the wall play there from Liquid. Gotta hand it to them. Obviously, we have mentioned countless times how aggressive they are, but throwing yourself out the window in the final 5 seconds, knowing you're probably going to get down, but getting the guy who's going for the plant, getting the guy with the diffuser, and then closing down from the other side to drop the pickup on the diffuser. That was great teamwork, and that was the best communication I think we've seen from them so far today. Maybe this is the start of the sleeping giant of Liquid waking up and pushing against a FaZe that is getting a bit too comfortable as we go to laundry and supply.
I was really surprised there was no IQ that came out from FaZe there. And if they had the IQ, I think that round would have gone very, very differently. There were still yokai drones up. There was still the Valk cam outside in the garden shed that no one picked, even though that is the default spot for Valk cams on this map, especially when there is a big tower defense, because FaZe even used it themselves when they defended big tower. So really surprising strategy coming out from them. Huge amounts of intel coming out from Liquid. I think, yes, there was good communication, but also it's kind of hard to not know where people are when you have so much intel on the board that has not been affected at all.
That's the thing.
So,
we saw when the Glaz went for the push, struggled against the Echo drone, but then still just pushed and took down PSK, who was said quite confusingly climbing the rotation ladder at that moment in time. And I guess that was one of the letdowns there of the information being spread, because obviously they could have just said, this is Glaz and he is struggling with the pick. But how it often plays out sometimes. I will say one of the confusing things, or well, not confusing, but rare things, is a round ending from time in a LATAM game. Tell you the last time that it's gone down to not either the frag or the plant, but a timeout round.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see it too often. I think that it would have gone down to frags, but there was no nitro usage from the Valkyrie right at the end of that round, which was honestly a little bit out there. I really thought a nitro was going to come through right at the end. That's all they really needed to completely deny that. Great pushes coming out from Nesk, though, but still unable to find his kill just yet. But we are going to see FaZe just quickly go for a big tower take here. Mav just repels all the way in, very confident with the amount of intel that FaZe have here. But not a huge amount of roam game coming out from Liquid here on Laundry defense.
It's surprising, obviously. That is something that we expected it from. They get on a roll, they get aggressive. Nesk is obviously holding Attic. You can see Sexy Cake at the bottom of Big Tower. But again, normally, you know that they're good with ACOGs. You know that they're good with these MP5s. And we know that they've been picking firefights with people at the top. So why aren't they going for the reverse? Why aren't they looking to lock down those long sight lines? You can see cameraman starting to try to dig across, look for the control of meeting, get one of those frags. But again, they have a lot of players ready in positions to push. They've just got to start collapsing.
Cameraman has a great opportunity to get a very surprising kill here. That Maverick is so hard to hear and so hard to see, but he will get spotted out pretty much immediately coming out from Bullet in the meeting hole. Will's trying to go for the pre-fires, but won't find a kill just yet. So fear charges are going to come out there. Will find Nest, so they know he's back there right now, as Astro's drone will start to come out, trying to find that quick pick onto him. It will drone him out, and Nesk is in such a bad situation. He's going to have to rotate if he wants to get away with his life. He does have a nitro here, though, so he could go below and trying to go for the nitro there. That was a very risky rotate from Nesk, but he will manage to get out safely enough. FaZe will start to drone out, but Bullet, what a shot from him, takes cameraman's head clean off, and that's already the first kill of the round going down. That's a 4v5. That's a Maverick already out of it, but FaZe moving so slowly here. Asher will secure the kill onto Sexy Cake. Interesting that they knew that hatch was open and they knew that Asher was up there, but Sexy Cake still trying to play a fairly aggressive angle. Smokes are going to come out onto the laundry stairs. And we'll see exactly how this is starting to go down. PSK still playing a fairly close angle here to try and get some sort of kill. So the Mute Jammer still denying any sort of entry here. And that is pretty poor utility usage coming out from the Maverick there.
The thing, obviously, you do kind of think, how long do you have to drone for? How long do you have to set up? You can see the smokes going down now. You can see they're still droning the footsteps ahead, but straight away Nest picks off Yuna as he tries to drop in, and Astro manages to take down Zig. They only have 10 seconds to start. PSK picks off one. The bullets are flying from Nest straight across, but Moringa is there as PSK takes down Mav at the same time. Moringa low health, and that is an easy pickup for PSK. They wasted so much time in the droning and they moved so slowly. Wow.
The very first thing that Maverick should have done as soon as they got lobby control is open the hatch. Or even just a little tiny hole just to get the Mute Jammer off of it. But yeah, nothing from them. No Thatcher, no IQ coming out from FaZe. Really disappointing work coming out from them. It looks like we are going to see an upstairs defense coming out from Liquid now. We'll see exactly what kind of lineup they want to take here, but a little bit of a different lineup coming out from FaZe this time, as Mav will be picked. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a Buck yet.
Yeah, obviously, Buck is one. He's kind of gone through a bit of a renaissance throughout the, I would say, the second half of the season, where he's really being shown as, well, just he's being pushed in new directions. And obviously, we had the Buck ban, I believe the other night as well, where they removed Buck, and you sometimes think, okay, well, is he worth banning? But I guess they're not really bringing him. They're not really making use of this. You've got to start thinking, well, what could FaZe do to start pushing against this Liquid defense? Because they're wasting a lot of time on that rogue play.
Yeah, they have wasted a huge amount of time. I mean, they've not really used their utility when they come in early on the run, which is good, because you shouldn't be wasting it until you go for your execute. But by the time they get to their execute, they haven't really affected the utility on the site. They haven't got the picks that they need if they are relying on picks to go for their pushes. And it's just been really terrible from them completely. We're going to get into round number 8 now and see exactly how Liquid are going to move into this, but they are looking to try and equalize across the board. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is defender-sided at the moment.
Well, it's obviously how they're playing it as well. It's almost as if Liquid, they've gone through a little bit of a resurgence in these past few rounds, because, yeah, we've seen them get more aggressive. Obviously, their last take, when they did win an attacker take, actually, their only attacker win, was exceptionally aggressive. And since then, they've been moving as a unit. They've been locking stuff down and locking down rotations, and importantly, picking off those vital frags that trades. When you lose trades, that's it. That's over. Sexy Cake with the P90 shooting straight across, and they weren't even looking for that potential peek out.
Cameraman will get away with it, but I believe it's actually called the Pro 90.
The Pro 90, sorry.
Is not going to be able to secure a kill there at all. PSK already going to be fairly lit up as well, as Mav just going to prove why they brought the Jackal here. Great for the roam clear, but also great for that soft destruction. We'll take out the Valkyrie camera there on the bottom of White Stairs. We'll start to drone all the way through into Kitchen. We'll spot out the Valkyrie, of course. We'll see if they can take him down slowly. But Nesk is such a great Valkyrie player, especially with the MPX in his hands. Considered to be one of the worst guns in the game in terms of actual damage, but headshot's a headshot. And Nesk is getting quite a lot of them these days. As Nesk could be trying to play in Kitchen. He's going to get wallbanged just a little bit, as Astro just trying to push home. And there's so much intel on Nesk right now. But they still haven't picked him. Flashbangs are going to go out, and surely Cameraman's going to push all the way up. But Sexy Cake takes down Cameraman. Astro is able to frag out Ness, but that turns into a 4v4. And really not a huge amount of utility off the board, but a lot of utility there as Astro takes down PSK. And that was a 3v4, but all this gunning going down downstairs, and still the utility on the site has hardly been affected.
No, that's the thing. You still have Maestro, and we even saw Maestro getting a bit aggressive during all of that. But the amount of time Nesk managed to hold onto, just solo holding that Kitchen, there was maybe 3 drones buzzing around his feet. Map's going to start trying to push against Zig. Around the Maestro, trying to close down that distance. But again, this is a slow phase. This is almost an unsure phase. Each step seems like it's kind of unsteady. They're waiting for drones, they're waiting for information, which is fine. But if you're a bit slow to act on it, information turns old very quickly. Now you can see Jackal kind of hoping for the rotation just to pick someone off as they come up the stairs. Looks away at the worst possible time as Maestro goes. Astro is pushing up on the side there, and Bullet gets Astro from underneath.
Yeah, there's still quite a lot of smokes on the board here from FaZe. He's going to go up with Sexy Cake. Why would you peek that? He just peeks the big window. He takes down Mav. He's going to continue to peek the glass. How do you not win the fight? Yuna! Liquid takes down Moringa as well as Yuna peeks down. He does win this fight against Sexy Cake. Eventually jumps in, but Zig easily there to trade out Yuna. But the potato coming out from the glass of Yuna. And oh my word, Liquid do manage to equalize the scoreboard out to a 4-4. Could you believe that this was 4-0 to FaZe at one point?
It's like 2 different games that we're watching. It's unbelievable. Sexy Cake with the 10-6 there. Absolutely running rampant with that Pro 90. That was unbelievable, the counter picks there he was getting. And pushing again so hard against FaZe that just, I don't know what they're doing. They're swinging guns and the bullets just aren't landing where they're supposed to be. It's expectations, sure, as we go to Kitchen Dining Hall, but kind of a little bit of...
I think a lot of that came down to Sexy Cake's strategy was he's going to take the P90 and he's going to peek absolutely everything. And it worked for him. I mean, you think about it, there's a Jackal and a Glass playing the double window. You know smokes are about to go down. I don't know if it was really well-placed timing coming up from Sexy Cake, or just the fact that he knows there's people there and he's in a target-rich environment. But he will peek it out, he will get that kill, and I think, honestly, that's the whole reason they just won that round right at the end there.
Hey, sometimes you roll the dice and it goes one way or it goes the other. And for Liquid at the minute, this dice is a permanent D20. Now we can see they're setting up there. They've got Kitchen, but again, I'm just excited to see how they're going to start pushing out, how they're going to keep finding, because they came back from a 4-0. They're 4-4 now. Just look likely to bring it to a 5-4.
Fairly likely, I would say. Don't forget, we do have overtime, and it is a best-of-3 series as well, so there's plenty of opportunities to just go either way right now. But something that we commonly say about Latin America is that they rely very heavily on momentum. And yeah, this is definitely being true. We've seen FaZe Clan take 4 rounds in a row, and Liquid have come right on back and win the next 4 rounds in a row. And I think these next couple of rounds are really going to define how the rest of the series is really going to work out for them. But Liquid are going to start getting fairly aggressive with it. Sexy Cake is going to return to the MP5 and trying to go for the spawn peek onto Moringa here, who's going to be very aware there's going to be a spawn peek. He's going to crouch peek, but not able to get the kill. Either way, lots of shots coming out from Sexy Cake, but not able to land any of them as we move into the first 30 seconds. Lots of aggression coming out from either side as Ness goes for a run out. What? Man, oh, he does not pay attention to the run out. It does come down, and no trade comes out from FaZe as they've already lost their Jackal.
Wow, this is just one of those games that puts a smile on your face, but for the reasons, I guess it changes every single time. FaZe, what are you doing? You gotta pay attention to things like that, because you know Liquid love to do things like that. That is textbook Liquid, and they are all over it. Bullet, what are you doing, you madman? Taking down cameraman. Astro gets the refrag, but wow. Wow, that is beyond words how that just happened.
And again, it's just this huge aggression coming out from Liquid. We're seeing ACOG just peek everything, just run all the way outside into the enemy spawn and just start gunning them down there. And a lot of this is coming in from Intel, and again, no IQ coming out from FaZe, unable to deal with. Sexy Cake just peeks it out on the kids' room windows, and he takes the head clean off of Astro and takes it to a 4v2. There's no one even managed to make it into the objective or anywhere near it. It's such an aggressive hold from this dining room here as FaZe are left in a 4v2. They do still have Unit on the glass left, and he does have 2 smokes left remaining, and honestly, a very aggressive Liquid could easily die to Yuna here, who's had a great job on the glass in previous games. When Moringa going to be peeking out the hallway to try and find a kill, does meet one member of Liquid, but does not manage to take him down just yet. Yuna has expended one of his smoke grenades to try and make his way into the dining hall. Moringa trying to cover his hallway here, but they do not have bathroom control. And Showers will start to get gassed out here, but Yuna does take down the head of Ness, who tries to peek it out from Big Tower. That is not good at all. Not looking good at all for FaZe. But Liquid just keeping up the pressure. The second smoke grenade will come out from Unit Juicer all the way, but 60 Cake! What? Why would you do that? This man just peeks the glass, who's in the smoke, and he wins the fight. What just happened? Moringa's 1v3 now. He doesn't have the smoke to cover him. 60 Cake peeks it again. And just, what is happening right now?
I am at a loss for words. Liquid, they're making FaZe scared of every single part of this map, and I think they've been scrimming in Black Ops a bit too much for practice for this, but jeez, this is unbelievable. Sexy Cake on the 13 kills, not a single death in the last time we had a look at that. It's
actually found Sexy Cake's strategy book here. It says, should I peek it? No. Peek anyway.
Peek anyway. Peek anyway. It's pure Reddit ranked strats right now, and it is paying off. This is unbelievable play.
The amount of times that Sexy Cake has peeked something that he should just not have peeked and should not win, and the amount of times he wins it is absolutely infuriating. And I'm pretty sure if I was on FaZe right now and I'm getting peeked by Sexy Cake and getting killed through smoke, I'd be pretty annoyed, especially the fact that Yuna has now lost 2 fights in a row to Sexy Cake on the dock. It's been absolutely mind-boggling. Yuna is considered to be one of the best glasses in the world. Maybe not compared to Psycho, I would say, but he's definitely up there. He definitely has some of the best aim.
Well, that's the thing. We've seen FaZe. We know what FaZe is capable of, and Liquid are running rampant, making FaZe look lost. They're panicked. They're almost, as I said, skittish every single angle now. How do you know that they're not peeking you from there? How do you know they're going to start popping out of places on this map that probably weren't even allowed to be rotated too soon. If the Sexy Cake keeps up this aggression, it is unbelievable.
Yeah, Sexy Cake really doing the work for his team right now. Surprisingly, going to go to deployable shield on Alibi rather than Impact. So I'm interested to see what exactly he does with this. He's going to put down on Flag to try and deny the angle. And that actually might be a fairly aggressive angle for him to try and peek out.
Obviously, they're starting to push out with more aggression, more ops, just to slow the roll of FaZe. And last time, FaZe barely got a whiff of this building before they all got dropped. So I just kind of want to watch. I'm just excited to see where Liquid can take this game, because it is getting bigger and better every round.
I just want to say as well, there's still no IQ coming out from FaZe.
Still no IQ.
It's really disappointing to see from them. They've pretty much taken almost the exact same lineup, but Yuna's actually going to try and change it up. We're playing the Thatcher. Clearly, it's just not his day-to-day on Glads, which is kind of disappointing to see, considering he, as I said, is one of the better Glazes in this region.
Hey, if it's not working, you've got to start trying some desperate measures. But the thing is, I don't think many strategies would be able to go against the absolute roll that Sexy Cake is on with pretty much any gun. We've seen the Pro 90, we've seen the MP5, certainly on dock, but I want to see how this goes. They start to close down. You can still see FaZe doing the drone work, trying to just pick off any potential roams or locations of people and just start to get some information, but they don't look like they're really closer to the building. Point.
Yeah, they are starting to try and close the gap in here now. They are playing a little bit slower than they have been doing more than recently, but they have got the Thatcher this time, who should be easily able to EMP, and they will go off. They should be able to open up this hatch. And this was the big problem last time. They didn't have that hatch open, and it allowed Liquid to get away with so much of this defense and just hold on to it for so long. It forced an electric hatch drop, and yeah, that is just asking for trouble. That was actually Nesk's only kill as well, with the Nitro from onto electric.
Wow.
Well, sorry, that was his first kill at that point.
His first.
He's had kills since then, but yeah, that was his first kill.
So we start to see, obviously, the Thatcher's pushing towards it. They want to get that hatch open. Moringa's going to rotate to safety up the stairs. Astro's covering Big Tower, waiting for the rotation. Sexy Cake holding the Bailiff, which is a beast of a handgun, shotgun, whatever that gun has become. Waiting for someone to go for the rotate.
Yeah, just waiting for that rotate to come down. It's 30 seconds left to go. I think Sexy Cake is looking for a bit of a flank himself. Flashbangs are going to come down through the laundry hatch. Sexy Cake still waiting for this opportunity. His EMPs are going to go down. It's like that planet is going to try and go down. Astro gets his entry frag onto Bullet, and that's exactly what FaZe needed. The pre-fire is coming out from Nest. The Nitro always whiffed, and the Nitro does not hit its mark. It is going to go out and doesn't find anything. PSK with the SMG-11 does take the head clean off of Astro, but the plant does go down from FaZe, and Mav takes down one. Cameraman takes down another. It's a 2v4, all down to PSK and Nest, the two SAS operators. The pistol coming out from Cameraman. Can't find a kill either way. PSK with the double kill. Just cleans up shop there. Moringa and Cameraman both go down. Liquid looking to close it out, but they have to retake, and they have to get the diffuser down. Oh, Mav takes a double kill. PSK and Nest both off the board. Beautiful plays coming out from FaZe that time. They managed to take us to overtime for the very first time this season.
5-5, 5-5. Wouldn't have called that at the beginning of the map with the current form of what these guys have generally shown before, but Liquid take 5 rounds in a row. Now, I'd say one of the biggest differences there between the rounds they were winning was Sexy Cake played a role very late. Apart from when he was generally there at the beginning, he was normally finding those first battles and those first frags, whereas there he was a bit reserved. He was there, he came along to the party much later than he had normally been, and I guess that gave FaZe a little bit more breathing room. It'll be interesting to see how that translates to the overtime as we go to Dorms. Dorms main hall with Liquid getting the first defense.
And Sexy Cake is going to reprise his role on the Rook, but Liquid have won most of their defenses. FaZe won most of their defenses. Both teams have won 4 defenses. So, and they've done so in a row as well. So, like, I'm kind of feeling that this is sort of in Liquid's favor, because it is kind of a coin flip when you get to overtime in terms of, like, defense oriented. But I still want to bring this point that it can be very momentum-based, and we've already seen maybe a much more objective-oriented playstyle coming up from FaZe. I mean, in 10 rounds, we've only seen the diffuser go down twice.
Twice, yes. We've almost seen as many timeout rounds as there have been rounds where the diffuser's gone down. You know, it's their playstyle. It's how they like to do it, and the way they like to do it is to just fire bullets at people.
I mean, we've also seen 8 people die within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was LATAM. Right, we can see obviously they're setting up. It'll be interesting to see if they take this. This was obviously the point where they were counter-peeking against the Glaz and the Jackal outside.
No, not just that. I just want to go back to that as well, because again, like, SexyCake should not be winning these fights. He should not be able to just walk up to the double window with a P90 ACOG and take not just the Jackal off the board, but also the Glaz, having peeked into both of them. It was a little bit of a whiff from Yuna, who's now not playing the Glaz anymore. He's going to be playing the Thatcher again. Probably expecting that laundry defense, it looked like, maybe.
So I think it'll be interesting to see if they try and play that the same way. I mean, fool me once with the P90 peak, shame on me. Fool me twice, or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You can see Mav is going for the clear, but
I thought that was a
I did as well. It was Nesk picking off Astro. Bullet does get Mav downstairs, though.
So there will be shots going through from both sides, and Nesk just still playing fairly aggressive with this, only using the MPX. Cameraman, no, you can't find the kill, and he'll go down. He can't find the refrag, and Bullet finds 2 frags downstairs, and now it's all into the hands of Yuna Moringa to try and bring this in, but not a single kill on the board this round for FaZe so far. They're going to have to try and bring a miracle in, and they're going to have to try and find some gunfights very, very quickly here. Yuna will go downstairs, does successfully get the first kill for FaZe this round. Bullet does go down finally, but there's still so much time left on the board, and there's still actually quite a lot of utility from FaZe.
A huge amount of time for these guys to start thinking of what they can do to go against the relentless defense from Liquid. And usually you don't use the word relentless and defense in a sentence, but hey, Liquid are showing it right now. Moringa trying to come up with a way to approach just the second floor, it seems. They want to go through kitchen, make sure there's no one hanging around Zebra corridor as well. Yuna's worried about the potential run out. Obviously, pretty low health there with the diffuser Thatcher, and they're just steadily. Somehow none of that lands. They pull back just the right time, go for the return peak, but it's pulled straight off.
Yeah, Moringa is going to try and play the vertical play against them, but you can tell the comms of Liquid are just don't throw, don't peek. We have no reason to peek right now, and they will remain stationary, just waiting for the push to come in from FaZe. They know they don't have a lot of utility on the board. I mean, they do in terms of operators, but they don't in terms of the 2v4 right now. And that Moringa is still trying to go for those wall bangs as Yuna slowly makes his way up, but Nesk to the vertical play does shake down Yuna, and leaves it all fairly into the hands of Moringa to try and bring this in. Still looking for that refrag onto Nesk, but Nesk will retreat back a little bit now. It's 1v4, it's 20 seconds left to go. Unless Moringa pulls a miracle out of the bag now, he's going to have to try and find 4 kills. There's actually 1, pulls out the bearing, but no. PSK from Attic does manage to take him down with a headshot. That's going to be match point to Team Liquid.
Well, if you would have called that as a 6-5 at the beginning, I would have thought, nah. Especially, obviously, the 6-5 going towards overtime with Liquid pulling back so many rounds in a row. But here we are on a potential overtime match point. And these guys are really not letting up now. So we see the Liquid attack. And as you've pointed out, defense is where they've been stronger, both teams, on this map. So it'll be interesting to see how they translate. And Bullet is going to be bringing the Glaz.
I'm finally glad to see Liquid recognizing the fact that they've not really been utilizing the Glaz that well. Although, honestly, when FaZe brought it, the Glaz didn't really bring anything to the table, and the only attack around that they won was without the Glaz.
Yeah, well, maybe it just doesn't suit what their day is bringing them. Obviously, as you said, this is an operator, and these are guys that can do it so well. But it'll be interesting, obviously, Nesk on the Ying, which I know you always love to see.
Yeah, I think from the lineup that we're seeing from Liquid and the fact that they 6-picked onto the Ying, they were expecting an upstairs because there was no pick of the mute coming out from FaZe, but you can see Cameraman has 6-picked onto the mute, so a little bit back and forth, a little bit of prediction there coming out from Liquid. Will guess wrong, and it will actually be a downstairs defense, but that honestly shouldn't affect Liquid too much here, and the fact that they brought the Glaz as well, it should be able to let them push out quite heavily into Laundry, and they will quickly spot out that it is in fact the downstairs defense coming out here. So honestly, I wouldn't be too out there to see a bunker rush.
Well, that was their one win on attack. That was their one take on attackers, as they went straight in on a rush, and they managed to clean up very quickly. They took FaZe by, well, pretty much completely by surprise there. To be fair, their rush again was the one time they got the diffuser down as well. One of the only 2 times the diffuser has gone down this game, so it definitely plays into their favor. Whether FaZe are going to be a bit more aware that that was their one loss on the defense. Interesting to see. Obviously, Zig spawning with the diffuser. Far side alongside Bullet on the glass. They want to get that roam clear across Dining very quickly. They didn't do a huge amount of roam clear previously on their attack rounds.
No, they haven't been, and I think that was mainly concentrating on the fact they just wanted to quickly get into the site, but this time they're getting a little bit slower and looking for that west main clear, and we'll see potentially other members of Liquid also moving into Big Tower, because we do see pre-placed drones in the Big Tower as well. 68 does move into the garage and tries to hold it all down onto flag. And he's droning it all out and seeing exactly what the situation is, but yes, we are seeing a much more conservative and a much more sort of roam clear heavier Liquid.
It's nice. It's almost nice to see that, yeah, they're taking this seriously. They're bringing the game that they want to bring. And you can see them all stacking up already on the stairs as we're going to start to see the push come in. Nest taking a lot of damage, but getting those Candelas off goes down in the firefight. The amount of smokes and flashes that instantly go across. Bullet gets Yuna. The smoke goes off so close to getting into one of them. Moringa, Astro with the double as well. Astro with the triple. Shutting it down. PSK gets another one, but Mav is there to clean that up.
Absolutely incredible flank coming up from Asher there. He's going to tie it all up onto max OT for FaZe. And it's all to play for right now. Don't forget, though, that this is Liquid's map pick.
It is Liquid's map pick. And FaZe are really, well, they're a huge team at the minute. They are the team of LATAM to beat, and they're bringing the fight. But Liquid, they're not going down yet. As they go to the final round of this overtime match point, they are on defense as well, which you said has really been the favored one for these guys. Whether that's going to translate to just the joy and the luck of the flip of the coin, I guess we'll find out as we go to Kitchen Dining Hall.
And yeah, it is an interesting site to go to for max OT. I'm going to expect that FaZe are probably expecting an upstairs defense right now. But 6-bit coming out from Mav. This is going to try and reflect a little bit of FaZe's strategy here to see what he's going to go for. But this is going to be probably the first time, yeah, this is the first time we do see a book on the table, but the first time we don't see a Capitao being brought.
That's the thing, and it seems like they've kind of struggled with their utility pushes, I guess you could say, because Liquid's just been so good at picking them off before they can fully get into position to start the push. And this was one of those points where we saw 2 pretty aggressive roams and runouts just to get ones that they probably shouldn't have got. Did pick up the trade there, picked up the frag against them, but still. Be interesting to see if Liquid go all guns blazing or they play it a bit more reserved, as we saw in that last attack round at least.
This was crazy aggressive the last time from Liquid, and when we saw Bullet just running all the way out to try and secure some kills, and we saw Nesk also running out to get the early kill into Mav when he was playing the Jackal, but this time we're playing the Book, so... And again, that is kind of reflecting that they were thinking that it's going to be an upstairs take. But maybe they can still go upstairs, they can still try and play a bit of vertical play. It's not going to be as effective as it would have been if it was a Kids, Dorms, and Dorms main hold defense coming out from Liquid. But there's still opportunity here for a kitchen take. And, you know, most teams do tend to go for an A take. They try to go for a small tower, open up the wall, and go for a plant. But I honestly think that with the amount of self-destruction that FaZe have right now, they could go upstairs, and Sexy Cake is going to get way too aggressive with it. And finally, Astro is going to punish him.
Yeah, that was... I mean, as I said... it's one of those places where we've seen them play it aggressively, and FaZe were just ready for it this time. They were just waiting for it, and Sexy Cake, who was such a monster on some of these rounds, has been very quickly caged and put away. And you can see a lot of them stacking up, wanting to start pushing against the small tower, the opposite tower, and have everything they need to start pushing against and getting this wall moved. Without Sexy Cake against them, they're probably much safer in their minds about it.
Yeah, EMPs are going to come down onto that small tower wall, so it looks like they are going to try and concentrate on just getting onto that couch and go for the plant. But Nesk is actually here, ready to bandit trick as well. That is a very dangerous position for Nesk to be in right now, considering that there are nades on the table for FaZe, and it is a 5v4. We'll see loads more EMPs coming out here as Nesk still trying to play around, does not have any shockwires left remaining, and is therefore forced to retreat. And doesn't have a Nitro either, so I'm kind of surprised he's playing so far up. The Astro is going to try and make his way onto the laundry stairs, through into Classroom, and try and make some sort of peek happen here as drones are going to come out. FaZe getting ready to set up to go for this push. There's not a huge amount of plant denial coming out from Liquid, though.
It looks like they're still trying to just get ground, get a bit more confidence. They're still scared as they move around of just any potential Liquid counter peek and counter run out, especially from tower. You saw that cameraman didn't really want to round the corner too far because they know Liquid can pick this off. Zig gets Astro in the meantime. You can see Nesk is going, trying to just rotate and get one of those picks against any of the potential kind of just bit wide, people moving a bit too cautiously. That is a word that I've just made up. Av trying to push into showers is the smoke of PSK slowing it down as Yuna takes down Nesk, but Bullet gets cameraman in the trade.
Yeah, great trades coming out as it does turn into a 3v3 and the plant will start to go down. Bullet surely heard that Moringa is trying to bait him out. Desperately, Mav trying to go for it, but oh, it's going to be Bullet from the hallway. What? Mav, you need to be watching that. You know Moringa's going to be watching there. You should be watching the hallway, and that's not good as Mav goes down to PSK. Zig peeks it out onto Yuna, and that is going to be good house coming out as Liquid take the first map of Oregon 7-6.
Well, I think we saw a lot in that game. Obviously, the longest one of those games could possibly be, just in terms of how these guys were playing, the aggression in the movements, the aggression in the defense, and the attack. Some of these guys, they brought out moves that I think are always exciting to see as we look at that end board there.
Nesk got his kills. That's all I'll say.
Got his kills.
Got his kills. But yeah, 6K with a beautiful performance there on Oregon. We're going to take about a 3-minute break or so for commercials, and we'll be right back with our second map of Coastline. So stick around, we'll be right back.